Greetings, fellow tubers. 'Tis I, Garradine, and welcome back to the next video about the Pokemon Champions JDL. Now, this is a few days late because, work is work and procrastination is procrastination. Hence my tagline, procrastination at its finest. But the drafts are done, and the Week 1 fights are ongoing. Now, there's only been one fight, so that's fine. We're going to go through what everyone has drafted, my thoughts and opinions on the defensive / offensive viability of each set, and I'm also going to put out who the fights are against. Once more, in drafting order, the teams, starting off with yours truly, the Sleepy Slagoos. As you can see, I got a Dragonite in my Mega Tier, Whimsicott on S because speed, Aegislash Primarina are my A's, Delphox Tinkaton are my B's, Abomasnow Crocodile, and my boy Clowitzer as C's, and Arbok as the D tier pick. Big old number block you see up at the top is defensive, is type defensiveness. Red is, super effective or extremely. Blue is not very, and white is defensively neutral. So my team is rather, it's not the most defensively neutral team, but it doesn't have very large numbers of weaknesses except for fire typing because of my steel and grass types that I have in here. Ground types, because, again, steel, poison, fire. And those are the two big things I have to look out for. Defensively, I'm remarkably strong against grass types, fighting types, and water types, which is, not bad. Next in slot is our host, The Clan Gang by Jimothy. He has a few more peaks and weaknesses than I do, and likewise a lot more, his resistances are a lot more stable across the board. Like, he is extremely powerful against grass bug type moves. Bug type moves, there aren't many of those, but what have you. And is very physically weak to fighting and rock. Now he's got a Mega Gengar, a Pelipper, Dragapult, and the Kanto Arcanine, Superior, and the Hisuian Goodra, which I wanted but could not get, as well as Liepard, Velenox, Beartic, and Fanrotom in the back end. Third in slot is Mabraja, J. Johnny with the Jaded Joltix. He's got Mega Meganium, Archaludon, Palafin, Politoed, Base Form Gengar, Skarmory, Pikachu, Ditto, Infernape, and the Kanto Taurus. Now, you may notice something mildly concerning about this is that he has a Rain Team core. Yes, he got away with it. Politoed, Palafin, Archaludon, I'm going to expect to be entering most of his fights with probably a tech into either his Mega, Pikachu, Skarmory, depending on who he goes against, maybe the Gengar, Kanto Taurus, Infernape, what have you. But definitely I am expecting, at the very least, Politoed, Archaludon for range shenanigans. He is, as most water teams are, another defensively neutral. He doesn't have very many extreme weaknesses. Probably the moves I would bring against him more often than not would be electric, ice, neutrality, fighting types, ground types. Like, the only real thing he has that doesn't care about ground type moves is his Skarmory, because flying. Other than that, that's at least neutral damage for most of the board. probably rock-type moves. The only one that doesn't really care about rock-type moves is the Archaludon. And ghost-type moves for neutral. Like, he's got a lot of, at the very least, neutral damage moves. Fourth in the barrel is Sash Me Outside with Lecreezy. Again, I'm seeing a lot of neutral damage here. Mega Kangaskhan, Sinistcha, Hatterene, Sableye, Hawlucha, Reuniclus, the Garganacl, Klefki, Toxapex, and Absol. Now, that is a lot of bulk I'm seeing, and really only 2 quick types, 2 fast movers in the Hawlucha and Absol. So I am very much expecting Trick Room out of Lecreezy. Especially because Prankster Sableye is a thing. I'm expecting Sableye to at least set walls up or something. And 1-star reviewers by Coach D has the Mega Hawlucha, base form Venusaur, Talonflame, Orthworm, Mamoswine, Snorlax, Armarouge, Rhyperior, the Hisuian Decidueye, and Vaporeon. Defensive-wise, you can see that number 4 under Earth is bold because of Earthworm's Earth Eater ability. Because if it doesn't have Earth Eater ability, that is a super effective there. But why would you not put Earth Eater onto Earthworm to begin with? So that's why the defensive is bold. I'm seeing good Sun possibility here, especially paired Talonflame Venusaur. His Armarouge would also be able to take advantage of that. Mega Hawlucha might entrain his No Guard onto something like, say, Rhyperior, maybe Mamoswine, just for that guaranteed high impact damage. Quilava Turkey by Neeto has a Mega Frostlass, Incineroar, Corviknight, Mimikyu, Raichu, Rampardos, Chandelure, Noivern, Roserade, and the Galarian version of the Stunfisk. Now, I've been watching some videos. I know Corviknight is just a tanky boy. Chandelure can get up to some shenanigans. And, well, Incineroar, Mega Frostlass are Incineroar, Mega Frostlass. Particularly, he's got a lot more weaknesses than most others. Like, good portions of his team are weak to fire, weak to water, weak to ground, weak to rock. And again, there are a lot of high damaging moves in those specific sets. Devastating Dunsparces by Professor Mahogany is particularly weak against ground type moves. He's actually managed to snipe a sand team. He's got Mega T-Tar, Sneasler, Excadrill. He's the one who went for the Sneasler, obviously. Sylveon, Vivillon, Meowstic, either form. How the draft works, they're the same name, so he can take either male or female form of the Meowstic. Empoleon, Cleavor, Skeledirge, and Forretress. So he's got a very solid sand team setup. And with that Sneasler for speed control. And last but not least is the Hydraftins by Hyperfase. He has the most defensively neutral team. Like, none of his Pokemon either resist neutral, none of his Pokemon resist grass, none of his Pokemon resist poison. So, going against him is going to be interesting. He's got Mega Emboar, the Farigiraf, Gyarados, Hydreigon, Oranguru, Heracross, Weavile, Alakazam, Blaze Tauros, Paldean, and the Torterra. Now, you would think he would be running Trick Room with the Farigiraf, but I'm seeing a lot of fast options here. Oranguru, I'm expecting, you know, him to be using, what is it, Instruct, to essentially increase spread damage output. But as for the actual battle schedule, it will be Krangang versus the Hydraftans, with the 1-star reviewers versus the Jaded Joysticks. I am against Quilava Turkey, and Sash Me Outside with Lecreezy versus the devastating Dunsparces with Professor Mahogany. That fight has already happened, and by Sunday I will be including all the win-loss stuffs. Hopefully on Sunday. But this has been the quick and dirty rundown, as well as my thoughts on each team. Thank you guys for joining me. And the next video will hopefully be my fight versus Neeto. Thank you guys for joining me, and I shall see you guys next time.